First and foremost, Dynamics is Microsoft's CRM platform or solution. So it sits natively within your Office 365 portal. You can just see here that Dynamics is an additional pane. So that means that you get native integration with all of the Office applications. So Outlook for your emails, SharePoint for your document storage, and also your templates for any of the Office applications as well. You can also utilize Teams and Power BI as part of the native integrations as well. So there's a lot of connectivity with tools that you're probably already familiar with and using on a daily basis. The other side is that it also uses the same login that you have for Office, so you only need to remember one password, and you also have the same level of access that you do with Office 365, which means you can access from mobile devices. So you have a native app for smartphones and tablets, but you can also use the browser-based version as well, pretty much anywhere, so you can access your data on the go. Once you're inside of Dynamics, the idea of the dashboards is that each individual user or team will have their own individual dashboards with the relevant information or reports or pieces of data that they want to see. Okay, so as an example here, we've got a customer service overview. We can see our active cases. We can see some graphical views of the different priorities that we have as our cases. We can also see the different statuses that we have of our cases as well. And all of these different tagging metrics are all set up by yourselves. So if you've got, multiple different types of priorities or different statuses as part of the setup, these are the terminology and the rules that you're going to be plugging into the system. All of the reports that you see are drill downable. So if you click on any area, you could then see what the cases are behind it or what the case types are, and you can just manipulate your data any way that you wish. So all of these, as I said, are drill downable. With one click, you can also pop those open and you can then see all the data that sits behind it. So this is what we call a list view, similar to an Excel-based file where you can see all the records that sit behind here. And as you click on different segments of the reports, they then move around and show you the particular records that make up that reporting structure. On the left-hand side, you've got your menu. This is showing you all your different types of data sets. So things like cases, things like accounts and contacts. And I'll explain what all of these do as we go through. The core of Dynamics, if you like, is an account record. So this is the highest level inside of the database. And this is essentially a business or a company that you're working with. So if you wanted to call it companies or businesses or clients, again, that terminology is available to be changed. What it does at the account record is it presents to you everything there is that you need to know about this particular customer. So potentially who the primary contact is. You can see a timeline of all of the emails and the communications, and we'll go through those in a minute. And on the right, you might want to see who the contacts are, all the recent cases, and maybe even things like the entitlement. So what contract they're actually following at the moment. So everything that you do with Cloud9, as an example here, is all rolling up and storing as a history or a filing cabinet, if you like, of everything from in here. And we can put them into different tags, so industries or different types of clients. Again, all the data that you want to store here is customizable and configurable by yourselves. The heart of the service module is a case. Now, some clients will change the word case to ticket. Again, that's completely down to you. What the case is the core record of what the problem is or what we're looking to solve. So you can see that it's linked to a customer. It's also linked to a contact. You can also store things like where it's come from, so what the origination was, and all of the cases by default are also linked to entitlements and also to products. So that will come a little bit clearer as we go through. So what that means, it gives you the capability to see what products are going wrong most regularly, what the major issues are, what the different types of cases are. So all of these tags and configurations are all part of the setup in terms of what you want to report on. Now, every single record in Dynamics has this timeline, which is essentially an audit trail of all the communications that you're having with this particular customer. And this particular timeline relates to this exact case. So you have an audit trail for each individual case and even sub-case if you wanted it to. You can see here, we've got the ability to have parent cases. Underneath these timelines, so this is where you store things like your phone call records. You can store emails and appointments and tasks. The emails appointments and tasks are all exactly the same functionality as you have in Outlook. So you will have some users who are keen to work more Outlook based, and you'll have some users that are more keen to work more Dynamics based. This gives them the flexibility to work in either. Now, this timeline will store both automated records. So you can see here, this is an automated email that we can set up. This is actually an email internally that asks the particular person to go to that record. But you can set up as many email templates as you want to, and they just get sent out using your Exchange, which is the server that sits behind Outlook. As you can see from here, we've also got things like phone call records, and actually we've got a tracked email, which is an actual email that's been sent out. And as we click on these, we can see the full transcript. We can actually even open the record directly, and we can see a full breakdown of that particular email record. So any attachments and the full transcript as well. You'll see here you also have the ability to reply, to forward. All of that standard Outlook functionality is available in Dynamics as well. If I just hop into Outlook and just show you how the connection works. So this is just standard Outlook 2019. What you have the ability from here to do is firstly connect with Dynamics. So you have the ability to track emails and communications, but you can also surface information from Dynamics and also play with the information in Dynamics inside of Outlook too. Just to show you this process, this is a case creation process. Now, a lot of clients will automate this and therefore use the queue functionality, which I'll show you guys in a second. But just to show you manually, what this essentially enables you to do is put a email creation bot onto a mailbox. So it could be a support at or a help at or whatever you have. And it allows you to take an unknown email or an unknown record, and you can therefore add and create them as a contact or as a case or as a lead or whatever record that you want to create off the back of that. Okay, so as I said, that's an area that most people would automate, that any new email that comes into a mailbox, if it's that particular mailbox, it's then created as a case. Okay, and we'll go through queues in a second. Let's say, for example, that we have an email that's already set up and we have a case that's already set up. So in this particular format, you can see from here that we've got a little black box, which is showing us that this is tracked or connected to Dynamics. So this is someone that we know, it's Alan Sugar. We can also be presented information about Alan inside of the Outlook window. But what we're also able to do is we can see that this is related to a particular ticket or a particular case. And we can change that. So we can actually change what that case is regarding. So if you have internal emails, if you have other information that you want to be tracking or storing against that record, then you can do this. But what you're able to do from here is actually see more information about that record. So even though I'm in Outlook, I can actually click into the record and I can see the full record. So I can see its RAG status, I can see when it was created on, I can see all the ticket information from here, and I can even edit that as I go through. So I can actually play with the Dynamics data directly out of Outlook, which is really powerful for users because they're used to working within Outlook. You can also access your dashboards from here. You can access pretty much all of your Dynamics data directly in the Outlook window. Going back into Dynamics, so if we go back to our case, something else that's ever present with a case is this process bar along the top here. This is something, again, that's configurable. You can essentially put different steps and any number of steps that you wish into the resolution of that case. So something really simple we've done here, just for example, is we identify, we research, and then we resolve. Now you can build in any such process as you wish, and underneath each process you can do prompts for data capture, you can do automated emails, you can do approval processes, whatever it is that you do as part of your resolution process, you can build into the system. So that gives you really good reporting on how many cases we have at different stages. But what is also quite common is that if you have a different type of case, then because of that selection, it then gives you a different process that you need to follow. So that's also available for you if you wish. Another area of use on the case area is the SLAs and the contracts. So we'll just hop back to our account record. We can see here that Cloud9 has a particular entitlement. An entitlement is like a contract or the ability to be served. So you can have any number of different entitlements that you like. You might have a bronze, silver and gold package potentially, or you might have a different level of service that you provide to each individual customer. So it's completely down to you how you set that up. Linked to the entitlements, you also have SLAs. So the SLAs here, just to show you, are built-in times in terms of response and resolve times that you may want to put into the system. So if you have a gold customer, they might have a response in 2 working hours, for example, but they might have an actual resolution in 7 days. So whatever that is, you can build that in per customer. And as you see from here, test data, but these give you therefore countdowns and timers to see how you're doing against those targets. These are often things that are showed to a service manager or something like that within a dashboard, so they can see if there's any cases that we're getting close to breaching those SLAs on. You also have a ton of information behind the data, so you can store documents, you can store other information, can build out different tabs in terms of tracking data within the case as well. Other things to show you was the queuing functionality. So as we said, this is often done when an email or automation is set up. So you receive an email to a support app mailbox, and those are then all put into a queue. So this could be a queue of all of our cases, for example, and we can then do a few different things with that. So we can either have the process that manually somebody comes in and they select the cases that need to be assigned, and they can then just assign those and make somebody the owner. So they then are looking after that case on behalf of the customer. But what is also quite common is routing rules. So these are automation rules that are set up to say things like, well, because it's with this particular customer, that is the particular agent that looks after that, or because they have an issue with this product, that goes to another member of staff. So again, you can automate that functionality as well in terms of queuing. The final bit in terms of standard functionality is the knowledge base. The knowledge base is a possibility for you to create both internal and also external materials that people can use in terms of helping them resolve, or also automatically sending out to customers based on what sort of case they are looking for service on. So as I said, you can have as many different articles as you want to, draft, published, and those can be used both for prompting internal users to try and help them, or it can be shared externally for those common problems like I can't turn it on or something like that. Final thing to show you, this is a part of the Dynamics solution, but it's often something that people would do as maybe a phase 2 or something like that, is that you can bridge all of your data into an external portal. So it's just an example portal here. This is built on the Dynamics framework, and obviously everybody would have a sign-in, so they can sign in and they then have the ability to manage, create new cases, they can see existing cases, they can also access the knowledge base and so on and so forth. So this is a really good way of extending that customer service and making your customers more engaged and giving them the possibility to interact via a portal rather than sending lots of emails and things like that. So these are really, really popular once you've got your CRM set up and working. And of course, for any questions that you have on the Dynamics 365 modules or licenses or anniversary dates or anything surrounding the Dynamics licenses, myself and the Cloud9 team are here to help you.